therefore wrong judgment proceeded. God's chosen people committed and tolerated the hideous act of corruption of the court. You know, they was part of it, just like today. Just like today, some of God's people, they get involved in this sin. They get involved in the things that ain't right.
That's right.
You know, things that ain't right and stuff. You know, they get, but there were always a people who were faithful.
Yes.
You know, even in this day, there was people that was faithful to God, to the Lord of righteousness, remnant. But here, the godly and restricted in what they could say and do because of the evil that surrounded them.
That's right.
You know, that's the way the court is today. There's things that even the Christians can't do, Brother Jim.
That's right.
So, and we just have to keep watching. Hey, why ain't there something done, God? Why can't you do something about this? You know. So we go to the 5th chapter, and God started answering. He said, "Behold ye the heathens, and regard, and wonder marvelously." You know, it says the scene during Habakkuk's time was full of turmoil, with Assyrian on the decline and Babylon on the rise. You know, Babylon was on the rise at this time. For I will work a work in your day, which you will not believe, though it be told to you. Word for word, the Hebrew word suggested that something unanimous and impressive was about to occur. God was about to do something in this day. He said, "I will work a work in your day. And for lo, I'll raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, which shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling place that are not theirs." You know, I am raising up. God controls the nation for his own purpose, sometimes indirectly and sometimes directly. You know, God controls it different ways, Brother Jim. The way that he wants to control it. But, you know, he was answering Habakkuk. He said that for the Chaldeans, there's another word for the Babylonians. Bitter. The Babylonians were harsh, oppressive, and they're ruling. You know, they ruled with... Babylon quickly had become the dominant power of that day. You know, Brother Mitch, they was on the rise. They was on the rise at this time to dominate God's people, to oppress them so bad that God had a plan. God was working a plan. Habakkuk didn't see it at this time. But what God was trying to do is press him, just like sometimes he does us. Sometimes we don't understand why. We always get to thinking, well, you know, we're God's chosen people. Why don't he always do good? Well, Brother Mitch, if he'd set us over here, no matter what we do, we'd never turn back to him. And as we go on, we'll see that's what he was trying to get Judah to do. He was using these people to get Judah to turn back to him, to do good for him when they were out doing the sins and stuff. He said, "They are terrible and dreadful. Far from being human, the Babylonians pride themselves on their arrogance, use of raw power. Their judgment and their dignity shall perceive of themselves." It says the Babylonian system of law and order had no regard for other legal systems. In other words, you know, they didn't care for others as long as they was pleasing themselves. Their horses are swifter than the leopards. You know, at this time the Babylonians used the horse, and the chariots made them fierce, made them powerful, Brother Mitch, at this time, and in the ancient world. You know, in this time they used, you know, they was building an army up, and more furious than evening wolves, and their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come far. They shall fly as the eagle, as the haste. The Babylonians were powerful and harsh. They was a harsh nation at this time. It says the eagle, the Palestinian eagle, is a bird of prey, a vulture. These images from the animal kingdom presents a vivid picture of the wicked world. You know, Brother Mitch, that's the way we are. You know, as the beast and stuff, you know, that's the sort of way we are, Brother Jim. You know, we're just out for ourselves. We're out to, you know, a lot of times, that's what power is. And once we get to power, you know, it's all for ourselves and stuff. And that's what they was doing. They was out for themselves. It says, they shall come all for violence. Their faces shall suck up as the east wind, and they shall gather captivity as the sand. Habakkuk was observed violence in Judea. That Babylon was rash with violence. Babylonians resettled numerous conquered people with little regard for themselves as individuals. You know, that's what they was out to do, Brother Jim, is to conquer. Is to conquer these people instead. They shall come all for violence. Their face shall suck as an east wind. And they shall, number 10, and they shall scoff at the kings, and the princes shall be scorned to them. You know, that's what they was doing. The Babylonians did not respect authority and power other than their own. You know, they didn't respect none of this because they was out for themselves. They was out to do what they wanted to do. It says the Babylonians mocked human systems for fornication, lusting through many defenses they encountered. Habakkuk followed up his first question with a question concerning God's rule over the nation. Then he waited for the Lord's response. He waited for the Lord to answer. God answered this question in an unexpected manner. He may not have answered the way Habakkuk would even answer. You know, that's a lot of times the way we are. A lot of times we'll ask the question, God may not give us the answer, Brother Mitch, that we always look for. Maybe he might be something that we don't really want to do, or maybe he tells us to give up something that we really don't want to give up. Can we accept it? Can Habakkuk accept this? Could he really accept the way? This session had two parts, the complaint of the prophet and the Lord's response to the prophet. That's right. It had two parts to it. He asked the question, and then God answered it. He told him what he was going to do. As we go on, it says, then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend in putting this his power into his gods. Number 12 says, oh, thou art thou not from everlasting, O Lord my God, my Holy One? You know, right here, Brother Mitch, that tells me that Habakkuk